today, like Natalie said, getting back into it. So we're getting into January. And like we've heard already, it's the stats days, technically holiday, and our kids have been at home for a few weeks now, and they've still got a few weeks to go. And so what we need to do is just to subtly, not straight away, right, sit down at the table, start your work, but just subtly get them ready and prepared for school again. And so there are key messages that we'd like you to kind of hear today, and we've got some themes that me and Natalie will take you down. But it's about also, you know, the most important part is making sure that you've allowed your child time to put the brakes on and come back. You know, as an adult yourself, that if you're preparing for something big, you don't just wait and wake up the next day and then you go straight into it. You have to start a process of preparedness. So, you know, all those times you've been giving your iPad to your child all day long or just before, you need to start pulling back from those things, because that emotional attachment to those things for your children is hard. It's like all of us. We need to just make sure that, you know, we have a run up to this big day. So you will start pulling back on certain things, maybe looking at routines for when they wake up, when they go to sleep again. I know that during the holidays, there's no rules, and, you know, there's times that they can stay up and watch things, but you need to help your child and yourself too get ready for the big day when it kicks off again, so that your children aren't shocked and you aren't shocked with, oh my God, we slept in. There's none of that happening on the first day of school or leading up to when you need to go into school for your NCEA. There are things that you'll need to do in relation to NCEA, and Natalie will cover on those. And then, of course, you know, you need to know when school starts. If every parent in New Zealand doesn't know when the actual school starts, or the office is open to buy stationery, or when the uniform, or where's the uniform, or have you got, you know, those dates are important. And so we need to make sure that you have the you know, the skill to get onto the school's Facebook page, the website, and find out, or even texting the teacher. So that's what today's about, getting back into it. So, you know, during this term that you've done for this holidays, that you've done a little bit of literacy here and there, hopefully, you know, reading a book, reading a paper, sharing something. Natalie, have you done anything directly literacy with your kid, with your own children during this holiday?
I do encourage my children to read during the summer break. So we know with summer, there's something called the summer learning loss or the summer lag. And what happens over the summer break is that students regress a little bit with their skills, their learning skills, and their learning goes backwards. And so to intervene and try and to stop that, you've got to put some like direct actions in place to help them to upkeep their reading ability and even some of their numeracy as well. So doing different activities. And so one of the things that I've encouraged, not this year, but in the past, is them to join the library challenge and read as many books as they can over the break. I think they say if you can get your child to read 8 books over the summer, that there'll be no learning loss at all. That's kind of what the research shows. So that's a good aim. But we should always be sort of encouraging about 20 minutes of reading a day as a minimum. Just to up.
I suppose if your children aren't also, you know, reading savvy, if they see you reading, so if they see you reading or other people in your house reading, then you're modeling it. And then they may take up a book here and there. Even if you don't have that set time, but you have books available and they're on the shelves and they're ready to go. And then every now and then they see you taking some books from the shelves as well. I mean, you know, and some of the things they want to read, you know, might not be conventional, you know, learning material, but comics, stories, movies, all of that stuff. It's valuable to see. I know that my son at the moment, he's in Levin, and Geneva down there, my partner's with him. And one of the things that they do is she's at the house with about 7 or 8 of his first cousins. And once a week, just once, they have school time. Kids love it. They love it, where Geneva will cover the table with a tarpaulin, and then she'll get some paint out or whatever, and then some coloring pencils, and they do coloring, or they might do some maths activities, or they'll get some chalk. And the last thing I saw was they got some chalk and they were drawing on the asphalt outside, making hopscotch, drawing different shapes, lying down and drawing around each other, counting the fingers. There's so many things you could do to prepare your child with coming back to school, or just reminding them. But it's not about also saying this is school time. This is life learning. We can learn from everywhere. We can learn from a whole lot of stuff. I saw you travel down to Hamilton. You traveling down there with your kids yesterday. What kind of learning did you get up to down there, miss?
Well, we actually went to visit at the cemetery yesterday. So yeah, I guess a lot of our people in New Year's, Christmas time, we go visit our relations that have passed, and have a visit with them over the holiday period. And that's what that learning comes from, just everyday doing, Carl? How you were saying that some of our most important life lessons don't come from school. They come from home and what we do as a family. So yeah, that's what we were doing yesterday. But we also do a lot of walking, within like nature walks, and try and see different places around our local community. So we don't go far from home, but we travel a little bit and try and see everything in our local area. So that's been a really good thing too for our children, just seeing what's in our own backyard and learning about that.
And you'd be surprised how many kids will come back to school and you're like, oh, what did you get up to, Natalie, in the holidays? And they aren't able to articulate to you what they did, because sometimes what they did, they don't see as an exciting event or an experience, or, they didn't see it as relevant. But these little things, even if you do go to the cemetery, being able to allow your children to share who this person was that they visited, how special that person was to them or their family, how they fit into this world, all helps towards building these learning experiences. I thought you're looking a little bit fit there, miss, with all your walking around. Yeah, I haven't walked anywhere since the holidays, so yeah, I'm envious of you. But like you said, local, there's so much that you can do local. Walk in the forest, fishing, there's walking in the parks. I'm lucky too. I live across the road from Bruce Pullman Park, and I've seen families come with their whole family and just park up and sit there, run around with a ball for a while. It's so important, people, that if we are to make sure that our kids are ready for school and ready to start our school in the new year, that they have experiences that will build their minds, grow their minds, and prepare them better for the new year and for the challenge ahead. But some of you have some NCEA babies out there. So, Natalie, what do you reckon some of the advice, since you're the expert at NCEA, what are some of the things that we need to support our older children with?
Yeah, I guess we're looking forward to the NCEA external results coming out pretty soon. So on the 21st of January, they're going to release the results for externals, and everybody will get their record of learning from 2020, and it will show whether the student has passed the different level of NCEA or not, or how many credits they are away from passing. And so I guess what we really want to encourage, like a key message for us for parents, is when those results come out, really take some time to have a chat and talk about how the year has gone academically with your child, and have a celebration of the hard work that's been done and what was achieved, even if there is a little bit more to go. So it doesn't really matter in year 11 or year 12 whether they're a little bit short, because this year they're going to make up those credits. It's the real crucial time is when a student is transitioning out of school and they're going to need a certain number of credits to get into a program of learning in the tertiary space, or if they just want to make sure that they've finished off their school years. So if they are a little bit short of credits, a lot of schools, most schools nowadays, they'll have summer programs or makeup programs to help students get over the line with the qualification that they need to get and achieve. And so those programs are really widely available. I know the Correspondence School also runs a credit catch-up program over the summer. And so if your child is needing a little bit more, get in touch with school, get in touch with their academic mentor or dean, and get some information about what can be done to help them in that situation, because it's really, really common. And so what happens now is that we understand that need in the community. There's lots of programs out there in place for students to access. places like Uni Prep and Uni Bound will also cover off those things.
Nice. And I know that what I hear from you there, it's just the importance of sitting down and having a chat with your child, and preparing a plan. And if things haven't worked out, then how can we fix that? And if things have done well, celebrate and go for it. But one of the key things there, is as parents, we need to know exactly what it is that our children can't, haven't done in relation to NCEA. We need to be able to champion everything about how an NCEA works, not to the point of an expert, but also being able to access people, like you said, a counselor, or like someone from the school, a teacher, to explain certain things. Because the last thing our children need is to start the school thinking, oh my God, I finished really badly, or oh my God, I finished the year so good and no one really cares, no one understands. How have they celebrated me? And it's important. It's important. So what kind of people do you recommend our parents go and see if they're not sure how to support their child with where they're at the moment at the NCEA?
Yeah, I think that what you're saying, Carl, is really important. It's the parents don't need to be experts, but they need to know that they can go and get the information that they need from the people that know in the schools. And so in most schools, there'll be a dean in charge of a level that you can contact and have that conversation with, or a form teacher or academic mentor that's in charge of that tracking that child's achievement, and they'll be able to give you really, really good, clear information about exactly what's required. And the really good thing about NCEA is that there's always a way, there's always a way to solve a problem. You can find a way through. So not to worry too much, not to get upset about things, but look at solving those problems, coming up with solutions that will help your student get to where they need to be.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so you're thinking about your own child at the moment, your own son, your daughter. No, daughter, yeah. What would you be doing at the moment thinking about subjects with them? So what would you be, what kind of questioning or what kind of things will you be taking them through right now, just disseminating what they need to do?
So my daughter, she's finished in CEA, so we're hoping that she'll get her university entrance all as planned and be able to go through to university next year. But my son, who's starting year 11, we're talking with him about the subjects that he's choosing. So he needs to be sure that the subject choices he's making are going to lead him down the right pathway for what he wants to do after he finishes school, or what he wants to study in the future. So to be really sure that the subjects he's choosing are the right subjects to get him to where he wants to go. Not just a subject that he likes or he's going to enjoy, but also a subject that's going to be useful as well. So yeah, just be really mindful about choosing the right subjects for that individual, and having those conversations about, oh, what would you like to do, in the future, and what subjects can help you get there. Yeah, and we can have those conversations with people at school as well. Who'll be able to give us some more advice and tell us more about what the school that your children go to offers for them.
Nice. And it's reality too, and you'll find that some parents, they wait till year 11 to have these discussions, but it should be from day zero, where you're talking to your child about their dreams, aspirations, what they want to be. Even at the age of 5, talking to your child about, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up, and what are the different things that you need to support you to get there, so that when your child, like your son at the moment, gets to year 11, it's not right, what do you want to be, oh my God, and get shocked that he actually wants to do something you never ever thought that they would want to do, and don't be surprised by that. But it's just making sure you talanoa with your children. You make time constantly in your day, in your week, to talk to your little investments, because these children really do appreciate what you say, even though sometimes they may not show it. And I know for experience, the last thing I wanted to hear was my mum giving me any advice. But when they did give that advice, we were listening. And that's that parent as the first teacher. So making sure that that's right. When they're coming to high school and they're coming in to do all these subject choices and that, there will be people that will support them at school, like you've said. And for parents that are dropping off their kids, getting into that first time, are there any good websites or things like that they could look at Natalie for NCEA?
Well, I guess the thing is with NCEA and with schools is that every school has different offerings. So we need to see what your school that your children are attending actually provides in terms of subject choice. So some smaller schools have a more limited subject choice than larger schools. But the key thing, I think, is those conversations, because people change their minds about what they want to do quite often. Like, they'll get into something and then they'll say, actually, this is not for me, and they'll want to do something else. So just keeping like current with what's happening with your child and how they're feeling about what they're doing and what they're looking to in the future. There's lots of us that go to university and we're still not sure what it is that we really want to do.
Exactly.
But just having a plan, having something in mind and having something to work towards, so that there is a direction and you're not just aimlessly coming to school to eat your lunch.
No. Some of us did that well. Honestly, I think the best time I ever had at high school was every Monday we would all meet, all my boys and me, at morning tea at the tuck shop. We'd all act like we had no money, but we had money. But there was people watching every move we made. But that talanoa we used to have after the weekend was vital. I learned talanoa at high school, where you would share what you'd get up to the weekend and who had the best story, who had the best friends, and who had the best money. But thinking about this and looking forward, it's that time. It's that time now to start getting your kids prepared, getting you prepared, parents, making sure you've had a break as well, making sure that you're prepared for your children to go back to school, because we need parents that are engaged, that are rested, that are ready for the challenges with their children. We also need kids that are also getting there. So, start putting the handbrakes on, getting those routines going, having the talk with your children, sitting down, setting goals for 2021, having a look at how you can support the goals and writing those down. All things we've covered in our past Talanoa Ako sessions, and so you're very welcome to have a look there. So, I think we've exhausted this first session. Next week on Talanoa Ako, where are we going next week, Natalie?
So next week for session 2 is about the new experiences that children might be having as they go back to school. So for the different schools they might be starting in, or the different levels they might be starting in, we're going to be talking about new experiences that children can be looking forward to when school comes around.
Nice. And so, if you've got any questions in relation to this week's content, or in anticipation for next week, or how handsome Tauiriiri looks, or whatever those different things, just put it down the bottom and we'll either delete it or we'll comment on it. But thank you very much on behalf of Natalie and myself for engaging with us. Hopefully you've heard a few things there, little sound bites that you enjoyed. And we look forward to next week, where we're going to talk about those new experiences and continue our journey of growing and empowering parents, our Pacifica parents, to be amazing parents that you already are.